Secretary Robert Jenrick joins me now. Good morning to you. So the EU stopped short of an export ban to the UK. Can you therefore assure people that they will get their vaccinations on time in this country?
Yes, I can. We are on course to meet both of our targets, that all the over 50s and those with clinical vulnerabilities will be vaccinated, or at least with their first jab, by the middle of April, and that all adults will get their vaccination by the end of July. We've got line of sight. We know we've got the supplies ahead to deliver on those two critical targets. But look, we are continuing to talk to our partners in the European Union. None of us want to see any harm to international supply chains. We've got to work together and cooperate to ensure that we can get the vaccine and we can have a win-win situation for both the UK and the European Union.
Ursula von der Leyen says she hasn't seen any vaccines exported from the UK. Have we exported any vaccines?
Well, vaccines are based on complex international supply chains. There are elements of the vaccines being produced in the UK, there are elements being produced in parts of the European Union, and indeed all over the world. We're working with the Serum Institute, for example, in India. So it is critical for all countries that there are free flow of medical products, including vaccines, across international borders. And it would be very damaging if countries started to pull up drawbridges and prevent vaccines, medicines, or elements of them crossing international borders. And the UK strongly opposes that.
Would the UK ever consider blocking vaccines to the EU, though, if they decided to have an export ban?
Well, I'm not going to get into that kind of talk. I think that's unhelpful. We will continue to discuss the situation with the European Union to encourage them to stick to the very clear commitments that they gave just a few weeks ago, which were that existing contractual obligations will be honoured, that vaccines and other medicines can cross borders unhindered. That's absolutely critical. And of course, we'll continue working with the fantastic manufacturers like AstraZeneca that deserve our support in light of all that they're doing to produce vaccines, protect us from the virus, and help us to move forward.
You mentioned a short while ago India, the largest producer of vaccines in the world. They are not going to be exporting vaccines to us for at least 2 to 3 months, we're told. Surely that is going to have some bearing on our supply.
Well, we've built an infrastructure in this country which really is world-class. It would enable us to vaccinate even more people than we have done in recent weeks, millions more people. And so the more vaccines we can secure, the more jabs can go into people's arms. But we do have enough supply in sight to continue to meet our obligations. So that means that if you have an appointment for your second jab, you should not be worried. That will be honoured. You will get that jab on the date that you were provided. And we will meet those two critical targets, as I said, the 15th of April for the over 50s, plus the clinically extremely vulnerable, and the rest of the population, the adult population, by the end of July. And so we'll continue to be one, if not the leading country in the world for the vaccine rollout. But if we can secure more supply, and we're confident that we will do, incidentally, in the months ahead, then we can continue to increase the pace, which is critical, because the vaccine at the end of the day is our route out of this situation.
Let's move on to this programme to support vulnerable families. How is it going to factor in the pandemic? You're saying that £165 million is going to be assigned to this.
Well, we've for many years been working with families through a programme that's well known called Troubled Families. And today we're deciding to recreate that programme, renew it and refresh it in light of the pandemic, and it's going to be called Supporting Families. And it aims to bring together all of the different agencies of government, from schools, local councils, the NHS, GPs, to support families as a unit and make sure that they have the wraparound care and support that they need to tackle many different challenges as we come out of the pandemic, ensuring that fewer children go into care, that more children can stay in school and thrive as they go back to face-to-face teaching, that we look after people's health, including their mental health, and we help more people back into the workplace. I think this sort of programme has never been more important. And so it's right that we invest in it. And we're aiming to directly support at least 69,000 families this year, potentially far more than that, and ensure that those families get the care, the support, and the guidance that they need to thrive in the months and years ahead.
Can I just ask you about the Batley Grammar School and the incident there? Was the teacher right to show a cartoon of the Prophet Mohammed to children?
Well, I don't know precisely what the teacher did in the classroom. We know that the school is looking into the matter and investigating, and that's absolutely right. The Department for Education is liaising with the school and with the local council. What I can say is that there has to be an appropriate balance. We have to ensure that there is free speech, that teachers can teach uninhibited, but that has to be done in a respectful and tolerant way. And that's a balance that's to be struck by teaching professionals and by the schools concerned. What I would also add is that I was disturbed to see scenes of people protesting outside the school. That is not right. We shouldn't have teachers, members of the staff of schools feeling intimidated. And the reports that a teacher may even be in hiding is very disturbing. That is not a road that we want to go down in this country. So I would strongly urge people who are concerned about this issue not to do that.